Hello, Mr. Saad here, and thanks so much for tuning into the Mr. Saad Show and part 2 of Fiction and Nonfiction. If you weren't able to check out part 1, where we break down the difference between fiction and nonfiction, check out the description below or check out our channel to watch that video now. And if you're here because you've already watched that video and you want to find out how to write fiction and nonfiction stories, well, you've come to the right place. So let's get started. Here we go. So you want to write a fictional story. Well, here's where you begin. The first thing you want to do is start with an idea, which means you're going to want to figure out what kind of story you want to write. Will it be a mystery story, maybe an adventure story, or a science fiction story? It's entirely up to you, but it's important to figure out what kind of story you want to write first before you get started. The next thing you want to do is to create a plot. And what that is the events that happen within your story that all lead to a hopeful resolution at the end. Then it's time to develop your characters, which essentially are the heart of your story. It's up to you what kind of personalities they have or what kind of person they are. Tell us about what motivates them, give us details about their background, and remember, it's important to make them believable and relatable. And now that you've got your idea, your plot, and your characters, now it's time to start writing your rough draft. Don't worry about getting everything perfect during this stage. Just worry about getting your cool and amazing ideas down on paper. And following your draft, then you can go through and start to edit and revise. Look for any holes in your plot or things that don't make sense, and look for grammatical and spelling errors as well. You should also make sure that your characters are fully developed and your story has a neat and natural flow. And lastly, it's time to polish and publish. Go over your story one last time and make sure that it's clear and concise. It's often helpful as well to have a second set of eyes have a look at your story to make sure it makes sense. And then it's time to publish. Congratulations, you've just written your first fictional story. Alright, now let's talk about writing a non-fiction story, and the beginning of this process is a lot different than writing a fictional story. Your first step is to actually choose a topic, and it might be something that you know a little bit about already, or you're going to have to do some research about to make sure you can get enough information to write this story. Then you're going to want to determine your audience, which are the people that are going to be reading your story. Think about their age, think about their interests, and think about their educational background before you get started. Then it's time to research your topic. This might take a while, and the challenge now is going to be for you to determine whether the information that you found during your research project is fact or fiction. Be sure to take your time, organize your work, and take detailed notes during your research period. Then it's time to create an outline. This outline is going to be used to highlight all the main points in your non-fictional story and keep you organized as you write it. And once again, we're back at writing our first draft. Use your outline to piece together your first draft and organize your thoughts and ideas. Be clear and concise, and don't forget to use that important research that you gathered when writing your draft. Then we're back to edit and revise, and this is the time where you go back over and make sure that there's no grammatical or spelling errors in your work, and it's also important to check for factual information that made its way into your non-fictional writing piece. You can also check for any areas that need improvement and ensure that your writing is crisp, clear, and engaging to your reader. And now we're back to polish and publish. Have a good hard look at your last draft and maybe have somebody else take a look at it to make sure that it reads okay. And congratulations, you have just written a non-fictional story. Now I know that was a lot of information all at once, but as I've said before, follow my steps and take your time. And I've got no doubt in my mind you'll be writing terrific tales, stupendous stories, and bodacious books in no time. Thanks again for joining me, everybody. I'm Mr. Saad. Good luck with those stories. We'll catch you next time. Peace.